If you're in need of a pep talk today, stay tuned. You're going to like what you hear. When I was a kid, I was lousy at sports. I mean, really lousy at sports. And still, my parents insisted when I was in the 8th grade that I join the basketball team. And I remember a few things from that very short-lived basketball career. One, I remember spending tons of time on the bench, which is probably where I needed to be. And two, I remember the first time I was ever put in the game. Within just a few minutes, I fell and broke my arm, which says a lot about my skill in sports. There's one more thing I remember about that basketball stint, and that was the halftime locker room speeches, the pep talks that the coach would give us at halftime. He would encourage us. He would tell us, hey, you know what you've been taught. Remember to do this. Remember the basics. He would encourage us to implement what we've been taught and what would happen if we didn't. And then he would send us out onto the court to play the game. This is kind of what's happening in Joshua chapter 23 and 24. There, Joshua is giving the children of Israel pep talk. He's reminding them of everything that God has done for them and everything that God has taught them and everything that God has provided. He also reminds them to stay true to God's instructions and what will happen if they don't. And then he sends them out into the court, out into the land to play the game. It's kind of like us. We have had the pep talk. We know what God has done for us. And we know everything that he's called us to do. We know his instructions. We just need to get out on the court and follow through with them. We don't need more pep talks. We need to implement the pep talk we've been given. So this week, when you're out in the field, when you're out on the court, when you're out in the land that God has given you, what is it you need to implement? What is it you need to do to follow through with the pep talk you've been given? I'm praying that God helps you take the land, take the court for him this week. We'll see you next week.